Hey, everybody, welcome back to Foreign Post. I'm Steve Susans. Today, we're taking a look at the World Bank. It's been in the news lately after Jim Kim, the current president, abruptly resigned his position with 3 years left of the second tenure, which took a lot of people by surprise. Speculation grew right away of who would be replacing Mr. Kim in that position, and about 8 days ago, the Trump administration made their selection, and it's David Malpass. David Malpass is the current Undersecretary for International Affairs at the Treasury. He has worked in the private sector. Back in 2008, he was the chief economist with Bear Stearns. This was right before Bear Stearns collapsed and was part of one of the largest recessions that the U.S. has ever seen. Back in 2010, he made an unsuccessful bid for the Republican candidacy for U.S. Senator of New York. But in 2016, he joined the Trump administration as an economic advisor and subsequently became his current position at the Treasury. Now, a lot of names before Malpass was selected, a lot of names were being battered around. Several women, including Heidi Cruz, the wife of Senator Ted Cruz, who is currently at Goldman Sachs. Indra Nooyi, who was with PepsiCo, was the CEO of PepsiCo, was another name that seemed to be battered around. Several speculated on, the possibility of a non-American being named in this position. It is the U.S. presidents traditionally who make these nominations for the World Bank. But it turned out it was Malpass. Now, Malpass did come with some criticism. The selection came with some criticism, especially trade with China. He is apparently not a big fan of trade with China, and some speculation is that if he becomes president of the World Bank, that there could be a possible change in lending practices, not only for China but for India, especially given their growth. One of the main focuses might be economic growth or global growth with that. And it falls in line, I think, with the administration's America First policy. He's no fan of globalism or multilateralism, which seem to be the hallmarks over the last, at least during the last tenure, during Jim Kim's tenure. Back in 2017, during a House subcommittee hearing, Malpass was quoted saying, globalism and multilateralism has gone substantially too far to the point that they're hurting the U.S. and the global growth. We've heard that on several occasions from the administration and certainly from the president himself. There's been speculation with the World Trade Organization of leaving that and with NATO, pulling out of NATO. But of course, you read about it in the paper. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the administration is going. But this particular pick, I think, falls in line with some of those, at least some of the patterns and some of the policy changes that have been made. We're going to keep our eye on this story as always. It's the World Bank, of course. So we're going to keep our eye on this. And I believe the selection is going to be made in April. Now, he still has to get the approval of the other members of the World Bank. So we'll keep our eye on that. Hopefully, we might be able to get somebody from the World Bank to talk about it, maybe one of the other countries, and see which way they're leaning or whether or not this could work out either in favor of Malpass or whether another candidate would be selected. So keep your eye on ForeignPost.com for the latest stories in that. We encourage you, if you are in the industry, if you're out there doing the work, you could be with a huge NGO or just part of a group that goes to Africa every year and helps build houses or whatever you're doing. We'd love to hear about it. You can send your information, your stories, your video, anything to info@foreignpost.com. We'll put it on our pages and possibly get a hold of you. We'd love to have you as a guest, and you can talk about your experiences out there and what you see as far as development and moving forward in 2019 and beyond. Problems or solutions. What were some successes? What do you think needs to be done? These are all things that we would love to find out about. So until next time, I'm Steve Susans. This is Foreign Post. And we'll see you then.